20-man committee on essential medicine list. President Tinubu removes FCT administration from Treasury's single account. And from the foreign scene, fear and confusion in Gaza over Israel's evacuation warning. Good evening and thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news at 7. I am Oyewumi Ayini Bara. The Ondo State government has constituted a 20-man committee that will draft essential medicine list for Ondo State to serve a reference document for drugs that can be sold in the state. Inaugurating the committee, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Pharmacist Folukemi Adenola, said this committee was critical as their outcome would inform the decision of healthcare workers on field. Speaking on the advantage of essential drug list for the state, pharmacist Aladinola said it will limit the number of drugs deployed in the state healthcare system while also creating opportunity for the provision of concise, accurate, and comprehensive information in the form of a national drugs formulary. She added that the list would also improve the knowledge of prescribers regarding the pharmacological properties of the medication. Aladinola urged members of the committee to work together, adding that the state government was counting on their expertise to provide the citizens of the state and the health sector right choices in terms of drug usage. The Osrc Media Group owners of Sunshine 96.5 FM, Alalaye, Orange 94.5 FM and Osrc TV has opened its doors for partnership with the National Research and Development Agency, NASDRA, in the area of space science communication. Chairman of the media group, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, expressed this readiness while hosting the Director General of the Space Agency, Dr. Alilu Shaba, at the corporation's headquarters in Akure. Osrc Arabisala reports that the NASDRA Director General, Dr. Shaba, acknowledged the role of the media in simplifying scientific ideas and discovery.
How are you, sir?
The chairman and chief executive of the Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, welcomes the Director General of the National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDA, Dr. Alilu Shaba, and his entourage at the headquarters of the state broadcast outfit.
Okay, this is the side that okay.
After an exchange of pleasantries, both parties proceed for a boardroom engagement. The of a siege.
Delighted to be with you.
Director General of the Space Research Agency, Dr. Alilu Shaba, says the role of the media is critical for the projection of scientific engagement involved among the people.
Naturally, when we pick up this technology, it cannot be done without broadcasters. We cannot tell the story if you don't know the vocabulary. It is for us a thing of joy to pay you this courtesy visit to see how you are doing.
Dr. Shaba identified as strategic the OSRC Media Group, particularly in brewing professionals and ethical practice.
And that's why we cannot do it alone. The space agency is not going to be the space agency we want to be without the collaboration, without talking to the media. It was in the light of that that we tried to set up what we call the Space Science Technology and Innovation Commission on our campus. And a lot of people will not see why I'm anxious for the STI television to take off. Because there will be that necessary component of training. People will develop the manpower. That's why when we meet people like you, with the vast experience you have acquired, it is always important for us to associate with you.
The OSRC Media Group's chairman, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, extended hands of collaboration to the agency in areas of helping to further simplify space science and technology communication.
I find this exciting in the light of your initiative to have a television for the space agency. I think we must continue to engage the public. I think we would like to support that in our own ways.
Mr. Adebayo says the radio and television arm of the station is able to float dedicated programs for space science education.
So we can have exchange. I have my background in the university system myself, so I know the value of intellectual exchange. We like to establish a program here across all our stations that will be solely dedicated to space issues, so that we can actually paint this picture to the public in simple terms. That's why we have a station here. Our organization has 3 stations. We have a television arm, and we have 2 radio stations. And that's why it's a deliberate decision to take one of our radio stations to broadcast only in indigenous languages. We don't speak English language. We do not only speak Yoruba language, we broadcast in the dialects.
NASDA Director General is the Director of Communications, Dr. Felix Ali, a former staff of Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation.
I'm so delighted and I'm happy for this visit, because in Yoruba land, there's always this adage that it is always honorable when you remember where you are coming from.
This engagement signals the beginning of many more to come in the effort to ensure Nigerians, particularly residents of Ondo State, get additional information on matters relating to scientific development. Sahid Aribisala, OSRC News.
Meanwhile, recommendations have been made to stakeholders and government at all levels on the need to partner rural communities to adopt a holistic approach to mitigate the negative impact of climate change and improve food security. The Director General, National Space Research and Development Agency, Dr. Alilu Shaba, gave the recommendation during a public lecture organized to commemorate the 2023 Ulefunta Festival. The theme for this year's event is climate change and food security in Nigeria, roles of communities in global mitigation and adoption measures.
The 2023 Ulefunta Public Lecture brought together illustrious sons and daughters of Akure land, intellectuals, prominent traditional rulers, religious leaders, community leaders, policy makers, youths, as well as students from various schools. According to the chairman, Ulefunta Steering Committee, Mr. Oluwajanoku, the Ulefunta Public Lecture is an annual event organized by the Deji of Akure, Oba Alade Toyinbo Alade Lucy, to foster harmony among the people of the state.
Let me rejoice with all our royal fathers, Akure Council of Chiefs, Council of Olus, in Akure South and Akure North LGs, in the celebration of the new traditional year, which is the climax of all traditional festivals, usually associated with bountiful farm harvests, traditional prayers, and support for the underprivileged.
Chairman on the occasion, Dr. John Oyedepo, stressed that the event is aimed at locating challenges confronting communities and proffering solutions.
The choice of the theme for this annual lecture, the choice of the guest speaker, the timing of this lecture are quite appropriate, because there will be no other time to discuss such issues like this than now, when the population of Nigeria to land ratio is still manageable.
The Deji, Oba Alade Toyinbo Alade Lucy, said the Ulefunta Festival has become a brand, bringing people from all walks of life to give back to the society.
So 5 years ago, when we started this Ulefunta, we'll be doing lecture. When we have the knowledge of everything, so that we'll be cautious of what to do and what not to do. That's why we are doing this every year, so that we pick picky topic.
The guest speaker, who is the Director General of National Space Research and Development Agency, Dr. Halilu Shaba, stressed the need for government collaboration with local communities to engineer climate-resilient policies to mitigate climate change, thereby boosting food security.
People should be supported to engage in smart agriculture. People should be encouraged to engage in actions that will lessen the impact of climate change. And that means the financial sector must come in, the government must develop policy, and then there will be interaction between the government and human beings on how we bring the best policy.
The event featured presentation of posthumous award to prominent indigents of Akure, late Engineer Rotimi Fashakin, late Professor Kole Omotosho, and late Adedayo Omolafe for their services to humanity and contributions to Akure development, as well as prize presentation to winners of Ulefunta essay competition. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
Petitioners Privileges Committee, LPPC, has elevated legal luminary Afe Babalola's daughter, Folashade Ali, a human rights activist Kayode Ajulo, and 56 others to the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN. The committee, headed by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice